शारदे पाहि मां शङ्कर रक्ष मां 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 शारदे पाहि मां शङ्कर रक्ष मां.
Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Sharada Sharadamboja Vadana Vadanambuje Sarvada Sarvata Asmakam Sannidhim Kriyad Shankarupena Machittam Pankigadamabudya Kinkari Yashashamhaya Shankara Acharyamashriye Bharati Karunapatram Bharati Padabhushanam Bharati Padamarudam Bharati Tirthamashriye Vidya Vinaya Sampannam Vitaraham Vivekinam Vande Vedanta Tattvajñam Vidushekara Bharatim Sadguru Charanarvindhabhyam Namaha. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Thank you all for coming today for the next session of Vande Vidya Shankaram. We're going to continue today with the Dharma Sastra discussion and lectures by Dr. Jambunathan. Please take it away, Dr. Jambunathan. Thank you.
Namaskaram to all. Thank you so much, Ji, for the kind introduction. So, Shuklam Bharadharam Vishnum Shashivarnam Sadarbhujam Prasannavatanam Dhyayechara Vignopashante Sharada Sharadam Bhoja Vadana Vadanam Bhuje Sharada Sharadam Bhoja Vadana Vadanam Bhuje Sarvada Sarvadasmakam Sannidhim Kriyat Akandamandalakaram Vyaptam Ena Characharam Tatpadam Darshitam Ena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Sadashiva Shamarambam Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Gurum Paramparam Sruti Smriti Puranana Malayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavat Padam Shankaram Lokashankaram. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. So we'll be continuing on the topic of the Manusmriti. We are on the third chapter, and the section of the Manusmriti we are discussing is about the Shraddhas, the Pitrukaryas. We finished the Brahmacharya, the Varnashrama Kanda, the Brahmacharya Ashrama, what are the duties of the Brahmacharya was covered in the second chapter. The third chapter started with Vivaha Samskara, what are the criteria for marriage, how to select the right girl for the marriage. That was all discussed in the earlier part. And then after the Vivaha Samskara comes the Kriyas, what are the duties of a householder of the Grahastha Dharma. And in the Grahastha Dharma, Manu is discussing about the Pitrukaryas. So there is something, there are 7 Gs. G, like we have 4G, 5Gs in terms of the, for the internet and all the data storage. There are 7 Gs which all of us in Hinduism are supposed to know. The first G is Govinda. The second G is Guru. The third G is Gita. The fourth G is Gayatri. The fifth G is Ganga. The sixth G is Gomata, which is cow. And the seventh G is Grahastha Dharma. So those are the 7 Gs which all of us ought to know in Hinduism. And these are kind of the foundations for our Hindu philosophy and theology. So we are talking about the Grahastha Dharmas. In the Grahastha Dharmas, we are in the section of the Shraddhas, performing the Pitrukaryas, which are important component of the Grahastha Dharma. And we had talked briefly about the different types of Shraddhas. To just recapitulate, Shraddhas can be classified as Nitya, Naimitika and Kamya, which means Shraddhas which are mandatorily considered daily or obligatory, Naimitika are also obligatory but done only on special circumstances. For example, Grahana Tarpanas, Shankramana Tarpanas, these are all called as Naimitika Shraddhas. And then Kamya Shraddhas means you can do actually Shraddha desiring a particular goal, and depending upon what goal you want to achieve, people know about doing all Devakaryas for achieving the goals, but there are also Pitrukaryas which you can try to do. And there are, if you do the Pitrukarya in a particular nakshatra, on a particular Tithi, it will help you achieve a particular goal in life. So it's called Kamya Shraddha. So there is Nitya Shraddha, Naimitika Shraddha, and Kamya Shraddha. That's one type of classification of Shraddhas. Then the type of Shraddhas can be classified on, are you doing it only for one person, or are you doing it for the entire lineage? Lineage means usually Pitru, Pitamaha, Prapitamaha, which is the father, grandfather, and great grandfather. So when you do it only intended for one person, it's called Ekotishtam. And when you included the whole lineage, the three, the Pitru, Pitamaha, Prapitamaha, Matamaha, Matrupitamaha, Matruprapitamaha, which is the maternal grandfather, maternal mother's grandfather, and mother's great grandfather. So that is called Parvana Shraddha. So you have Ekotishta Shraddha and Parvana Shraddha. Ekotishta Shraddha is typically done before the Sapindikaranam, after the death ceremony. So that is one type of classification. And then there's a third type of classification of Shraddha is how elaborate you do the Shraddha. So there is Homa Vidhana Shraddha, Sankalpa Vidhana Shraddha, then there is Ama Shraddha, Hiranya Shraddha, and Tilatarpana Shraddha. So these are the different classifications of Shraddha which we have talked about before. I'm just recapitulating them. Homa Vidhana Shraddha is the most elaborate one, where you invoke the fire and do all the sacrifices to the Pitrus in the fire, and then you do Pinda Pradhana, and then you also do Brahmana Bhojana. So it does have all three components. There is Homa, Pinda Dana, and Brahmana Bhojana. If you do all three together, that's the Homa Vidhana Shraddha. And then you have the Sankalpa Vidhana Shraddha. For example, there is only a girl, there is no boy for the father or the mother. Only a girl is there and she is doing a Shraddha. They can do Sankalpa Vidhana Shraddha. Basically, they won't do the Homa, but they will invite all the Brahmanas. And like we talked about how many Brahmanas you can invite, we have covered that in our previous chapters. And they can actually invoke the Pitrus in the Brahmanas, the Vishvedevas in the Brahmanas, and do the full Brahmana Bhojana. So you do the Brahmana Bhojana without doing the Homa and Pindadana, and you give Dakshina to the Brahmana. That is actually very good also. And that's typically recommended if a lady is supposed to do a Shraddha to her parents, for whatever reason, the father doesn't have somebody else in the family to do it. So when they do, they can do Sankalpa Vidhana Shraddha. Then the third one is called Ama Shraddha, where you actually buy all the vegetables and the rice and everything, and you don't cook them, but you buy all the items. You call the priest, you do a tarpana and offer all these uncooked items, whatever you will use for cooking the whole Brahmana Bhojana, you have the uncooked items, you make all of them, you buy all of them, and then along with little dakshina you give to the priest. That's called Ama Shraddha. Hiranya Shraddha is you don't even buy the vegetables, everything. You just give 4 times the dakshina, whatever the cost of the entire cooking. You have to multiply the 0.4, and then you give little banana, the varaka, along with the dakshina. That's called Hiranya Shraddha. You can do a tarpana along with it. And somebody doesn't even have the time or the money to do all this, they can do Tilatarpana Shraddha. They can just have the sesame seeds along with the water and offer with the mantras, offer that. So depending, our Shastras are so flexible, depending upon your ability to do, as well as your financial ability, your physical ability, also the availability of the Karta, all based on all that. So if the Karta, like I said, if the male is not there, only the female has to do what she can do. You are not very healthy, you are physically very unfit, what you can do? You can do Hiranya Shraddha. Or you want to do it, but you don't have the money, you can do the Tilatarpana Shraddha as the last. So there are different things. So basically, there is so much flexibility in the Shraddha, so people cannot be neglecting it. That's kind of what the Shraddha, the Shastras are emphasizing, is they're giving this flexibility so that you don't neglect this particular important karma. Every day, especially with the day by day, the Deva karmas, everybody is giving importance, but the Pitru karmas are equally important. In fact, Manu says if you have to choose between Deva Karmas and Pitru Karmas, I quoted the sloka before, the Pitru Karmas have to be given preference over the Deva Karmas. So that is why we are discussing this elaborately. So I want to just recapitulate all that we have discussed before, and now I will go to the slokas, what we have to cover. And let me open this. Share screen. Let me see. For some reason, I'm not able to share it. Just a second.
Is it giving you any error? Or?
Yeah, it's giving me some error message here. We got the Chrome tab. Okay. Are you able to see it now?
Yeah, we can see. Go ahead.
Okay. So last session, we finished with sloka number 152, and we just started with 153. And I will just go through the 153. Preshyo gramasya rajnyasya kunaki shavadantakaha pratirodha guroschaiva tekta agnir vardushistata. So this sloka says, this Manu has actually given us in the slokas before who are the appropriate brahmanas to be selected for the Pitru Karmas, and now he is giving a whole long list. We covered part of it in December. We are actually continuing this. Who and all are to be avoided. So, when you perform the Shraddha, like I said, I gave you the different classifications of Shraddha, and when you do any type of Shraddha, the Karta, the Bhokta, the Dravya, Desa, and Kala are equally important. So, the Bhoktas are the Brahmanas in whom you invoke the Pitrus and the Vishwe Devas. So they are to be a very high quality brahmanas. That's very important. That's what Manu is emphasizing is when you are choosing, again, he is giving the importance between Devakaryas and Pitrukaryas. Brahmanas are very important, but high quality brahmanas are all the more important for the Pitru Karma. So you can see the importance what Manu is emphasizing, and all our other rishis are emphasizing for the Pitru Karmas. So he is now going to give a long list of who and all should be avoided. He gave a list of who are the preferred ones. We talked about the ones who are, especially one who is well versed in Samaveda is the best choice, to be chosen. We discussed all those slokas in our last session, and now we are talking about who and all are the people who to be avoided. A few of them were covered in last session. It's continuation of that. So, Preshyo Gramasya Rajnyasa Kunaki Shavadantakaha Pratirodha Guroscheva Tekta Agni Vardhushistata. So, one who is working for the village, so one who is a village worker, or one who is even doing employment under a king. So, basically, they said if you are employed under a king and doing some menial service to the king, Kunaki means Naka is your nails. It says that even people who have very bad nails, and Manu will discuss later that all this are. And Shavadantaka means one who has black teeth by nature, not you drank a lot of tea and your teeth became black, but you are born with black teeth. So people born with bad nails and black teeth are all to be avoided. And because Manu will mention that these people have some sins from the previous Janma. So we are not only, you can look at it will be very interesting as you go through these slokas. Some of these slokas indicate Puro Janma Pavas. So that person the Brahmana might be very nice Brahmana in this birth, but because of certain signs, indicates he has lot of Pava Karmas from the previous birth. You should avoid them for Pitru Karmas. So Pitru Karmas, you can see, you not only select high quality Brahmanas, you have to select Brahmanas who don't have so much of Puro Janma Papa also. So that is the importance it is said. So Pratirodha Guroschaiva means one who is going against his Guru. Pratirodha means against the Guru, one who does things against his Guru's wishes. And Tekta Agnihi, one who has given up Agni, who has not done Agni Karya, which means none of us are eligible. Tekta Agnihi, Vardushistata, which means Vardushistata is the one who is lending money for interest. So basically, all these people are to be avoided. So if you have a Brahmana who is lending money for interest, it is in Abad Dharma, only in very emergency situation when there is no other option to survive, that is acceptable. But in general, lending money for interest, one who has given up the Agni Karya, one who has gone against his guru's regulations are all to be avoided, is the first sloka. Next thing is Yakshmi cha Pasupalascha Pariveta Nirakrutihi Brahmadvish Parivittischa Ganabhyantara Evacha. So this is very important these days. Yakshmi cha Pashupalascha Pariveta Nirakrutihi Brahmadvish Parivittischa Ganabhyantara Evacha. So Yakshmi is actually a disease, and if you have to roughly explain that in medical terms, from what I understand, it is equal to tuberculosis. So basically, a consumptive lung disease is called Yakshmi. Pashupalascha means one who is taking care of animals, basically cows and goats. Yeah, you can have one cow in your home and you can use one cow, but if you're doing that as a profession, your job is to be like a cowherd or something like that. Those people are to be avoided. Pariveta, and this is Manu is going to be actually using this term several times. Pariveta means if there's a elder brother and there is a younger brother, the younger brother gets married or starts Agnihotra before the elder brother is called a Pariveta. So that person should be avoided, and the unfortunate elder brother who the younger brother superseded is called Parivitti, and the Parivitti also has to be avoided. So that is giving the importance to the preference by, so the elder should be the one to get first married and also start Agnihotra, and then only the younger person should to get his marriage and start his Agnihotra. If unless the elder brother has specifically taken sannyasa or Naishtika Brahmacharya, there are certain criteria. When the elder brother has explicitly taken Naishtika Brahmacharya or sannyasa, or he has said, I'm not interested in marriage, unless those very specific things are there, the younger brother should not supersede the elder brother. And the same thing also applies. There's Agre Didishu Pati will come. Same thing applies for the ladies too. If there's a elder girl, a younger girl, when the younger girl is superseding the elder girl, that person or cannot be used. The one who got married to the younger girl should not be called for the Shraddha Karma. So that is very important. So Pariveta means one who has superseded his elder brother in performing marriage and also Agnihotra. Those persons should be actually avoided unless, like I said, specifically the elder brother has taken sannyasa or Naishtika Brahmacharya or explicitly said that he is not interested in getting married on those things. You should not supersede him. Nirakruti means, again, Akruti. Nirakruti means one who has given up all the Panchamahayajnas. So doing the Deva Pitru Karma. So the previous statement said one who has given up the Agni. Here again the Nirakruti is the continuation of it. Giving up all the Panchamahayajnas is called Nirakruti because he is not giving anything. So that is the one. And then Brahmadvish means Brahmadveshi, one who is against the Brahmanas, one who is Brahmin caste, but he's still talking against bad about other Brahmins. Brahmadvish, the one who is a Brahmadveshi. Parivitti. So Parivitti is again the elder brother who has been superseded. So Pariveta is the younger brother who supersedes, and Parivitti is the elder brother who has been superseded. Both of them should be avoided. And Ganabhyantara Evacha. Again, this will exclude most of us. Ganabhyantara Evacha means one who works in a group where all types of people are there. Ganabhya means it's a group. So most of us work for a company and there are people of different caste and religions and everything. So the Ganabhyantara means one who belongs to a group where several type of people are there. So it's not that particular Varnashrama group is there. So that is again Manu is telling one who kind of works in this mixed group of people, areas and all. So that things, we have to be, like I said, this used to be very, maybe very strictly enforced in olden days, but most of the priests, they are not working in any companies like that whom we call for these pujas, but like basically it says that when they are working with a group of people who are of different calibers or like different castes and religions, those people should be avoided. Next one is Kushilavo Avakirnicha Vrishali Patirevacha Paunarbhavascha Kanascha Yashya Cha Upapadigruhehe. Kushilavo Avakirnicha Vrishali Patirevacha Paunar Bhavascha Kanascha Yashya Cha Upapati Gruhe. Kushilavo means actors. So one who does acting in dramas or cinemas. So the actor should be, avoided to be, they should not call them for Shraddha Karmas. Avakirni means a specific term where somebody who has taken a brahmacharya vrata and has violated the brahmacharya vrata. So that is a term called avakirni. There is descriptions. There is Devala Rishi is actually given very, for all these terms, there is detailed explanations. But avakirni is one who has broken the brahmacharya vrata. Vrishali patire vacha means, Vrishali pati means one who is married to a Sudra woman. So if a Brahmin is married to somebody of the lower caste, that person also should not be called for the Shraddha ceremony. Paunar Bhavascha means again one who is born of a second marriage, like in the sense for the lady, not for the husband. The lady has a second marriage because either the husband died or she divorced and something, whatever happened. So that person who was married, from a second married lady who has got the son, that person should be avoided. Kanascha means specifically it says one who has one eye. So one who's got blind in one eye, that means obviously if you're blind in two eyes, you cannot even do the function. So even the one-eyed person should be avoided. And upapati grihe means, again, this means one who is tolerating his wife's bad habits. So I would put it that way, to be a little diplomatic. So Kushila Avakirni, actor, one who has broken the brahmacharya vrata, one who is married to a woman of lower caste, one who is married to the son who is born to a remarried woman, one who has one-eyed, and one who tolerates the bad behavior of his wife. Those are all to be avoided in Shraddha ceremony. Bridak Adhyapako Yascha, Bridak Adhyapitastata, Shudra Shishyo Guroschaiva, Bhag Dushtaha Kunda Golakau. So this is the next exclusion criteria. So again, Manu is giving a long list of exclusion criteria. Bridak Adhyapako Yascha, Bridak Adhyapitastata, Shudra Shishyo Guruschaiva, Bhag Dushtaha Kunda Golakau. So Bridak Adhyapako and Bridak Adhyapitas mean one negotiation in Vedic learning. Okay, I will give you this much money, you teach me Vedas. So one who is teaching the Vedas for specific fixed amounts of money, and one who is learning by giving that fixed amounts of money. So that is the importance. Always our Vedas are supposed to be taught. That is why in olden days, Guru Shishya Parampara was there. The Shishya will go to the Guru's house. The Guru will actually teach him for free. The Shishya will get all the brahmacharya, he will get all the Bhiksha Vandana, and he will give the food to the Guru as well as take himself. Or the Guru will have income from the king, and by that income he will be sustaining himself and sustaining his Shishyas. So nobody was trading the Vedas. That's kind of what it was in olden days. So basically, if you're buying and selling the Vedas, that person should be avoided. Sudra Shishyo Guros Chaiva. Again, if the Guru has, the one who has a Sudra as a Shishya or Sudra as a Guru, that person should be avoided. Vag Dushtaka means one who always speaks bad words or bad mouthing. So Vag Dushtaka means his speech is always not of good, always bad mouthing people, talking bad words. Those people. And Kunda Golaka, again, Manu will actually describe Kunda and Golaka. Kunda and Golaka are basically sons born to a remarried woman. So it is not a woman gets married to one person as kids, that's different. But if the woman has kids after her first marriage, they are called Kunda Golako. And Kunda means if the husband is alive itself, there is a kid is born, it's called Kunda. If the husband is dead and the widow remarries and gets a kid, it's called Golaka. So those are the peoples also should be avoided. Then Akarane Parityakta Mata Pitror Gurostata Brahmair Yauneshcha Sambandhair Samyogam Patiter Gataha. Akarane Parityakta Mata Pitror Gurostata. So one who has without reason forsaken his father, mother and guru. So which means it allows, if there is a very valid reason and that is the reason you are not talking with your father or mother, that is acceptable. but without any good reason, somebody who has forsaken his father, mother, and guru, that person should be avoided. Brahmair Yauneshcha Sambandhair Samyogam Patitair Gataha. Patitair Gata means again the lower caste people or people who are not following the Vedic tradition. One who has association with him either through Brahma or Yauna, which means he is teaching Vedas or Shastras to those people who are not, following the Vedic tradition, or has relation through marriage through them, Samyogam, then those two people also should be avoided. Next comes Agaradahi, Garadaha, Kundashi, Somavikreyi, Samudrayayi Bandicha, Tailikaha, Kutakarakaha. So here, Agaradahi means one who sets house on fire. So people who do, who voluntarily, or on their own intentionally sets people homes on fire is called Agaradahi. That kind of a person should be avoided. Garadaha means one who gives poison to other people. So these are all understandable. It's somebody is bad enough to set fire to other people's house or give poison to other people's house, then they are not very respectable Brahmanas. Kundashi means one who is eating. Kunda is, I already told you, Kunda is the one who is born to a woman through a second person, even when the husband is alive. And one who is eating the food of the, so the Kunda itself should be avoided. One who is eating food from the Kunda Ashi means one who eats food from a Kunda, he should be avoided too. Soma Vikreyi means all the Soma, which is the Soma Yagas which we perform, one who is actually selling the Soma Yagas. That's actually the exact meaning. Soma Vikreyi means people understand that he's not selling the Soma, he's again selling the Soma Yagas. So his Soma Yagas are to be done by a particular way for the particular intention. But somebody comes and tells, okay, he doesn't go and do Soma Yaga to anybody who is willing to pay him money. That is called a Soma Vikreyi. Samudrayayi Bandicha means one who constantly travels in the oceans. So ocean travel. Bandi means one who is a singer, like our musicians or singers. Kushilava means the actor. Bandi means the singer, like SPB, and those are all bandis. Tailika means one who deals with oil trade. Kutakaraka means one who does false witness or goi poisachi, in the court. He makes money by always giving false witness or something like that. So basically, the one who sets fire to the house, one who gives poison, one who eats the food of a kunda, one who is selling the somas, one who is constantly traveling in the oceans, one who is singing. Singing means not nama sankirtana, singing other songs. Tailikaha means one who is engaged in oil business. Those people should also be avoided for Shraddha karmas. Pitra Vivadamanascha, Kitavo Madhyapastata, Paparogi Abhisastascha, Dambiko Rasavikreyi. Pitra Vivadamanascha means one who constantly argues with his father for no reason. It's called Pitra Vivadamanam. Vivadam. He always does Vivadam with his father for no reason. Kitavo means one who is actually running a gambling house, because one who plays gambler is called Dutakrida. One who's Dutakridi, one who plays gambling is called the Dutakridi. One who actually runs the gambling house or who uses his house for people to gamble is called Kitava. Madhyapastata means all the drinker of all the liquor. So one who is drinking liquor, one who is using the gambling house. Remember in Bhagavatam, that's what when Kali says to, when there is a conversation between Parikshit and Kali, these all will come. Wherever there is gambling, wherever there is liquor, wherever the girls are used for the wrong reasons, wherever there is too much of gold being sold, there and all the Kali Purusha will be reigning, because Parikshit and Kali come to an agreement. Parikshit wants to drive Kali, but then Kali Yuga has come. The gods tell Parikshit that he cannot completely drive away Kali. He has to give some place for Kali. And then Kali and Parikshit negotiate where and all Kali can say. So that's how Kali is, the Kali Purusha stays in all these places. So that's so it is understandable those who are having gambling involved, gambling places where Kali is reigning, liquor houses Kali is reigning. So these are the places, again, people who do all those things should be avoided for Shraddha karmas. Paparogi Abhitastascha. Paparogi means one who has disease, but the diseases are linked to some sins done in the previous janma. Those are called paparogis. And there is actually a list of them which will come very soon. So one who got disease because of some sins done in the previous janma, those paparogis should be avoided. Abhishastascha means one who has even been accused of bad karmas. So we don't know whether he's really done it or not, but he's been accused of all bad karmas. That has to be avoided. Because like even now for the politicians, they say if somebody accuses of them of some scandal, okay, till the scandal gets resolved, they can't stand in elections, something like that. So basically, if you've been accused, then you cannot call them for Shraddha Karmas. Dambiko means one who is always Damba Madichikarde, which is always very prideful, one who is very, doing things very show business. And then Rasavikrihi means one who sells all the scents, perfumes and all those things, Rasavikrihi. So you cannot be doing all those things. So those are again to be avoided in Shraddha Karmas. Dhanush Charanam, and again, it's not uncommon. The list of all these karmas, or again, even Yajnavalkya Maharishi lists all these in one place. I will try to read it at the end so that it's all this in one place. But Dhanush Charanam Kartacha Yasche Agre Didishu Patihi Mitra Drug Dyuta Vrittischa Putra Aschare Stataivacha Dhanu Sharanam Kartacha Yascha Agre Didishu Patihim Mitra Drug Dyuta Vrittischa Putra Achare Stataivacha. So Dhanush Sharanam Karta means one who makes bows and arrows. So if there is somebody who is making these weapons, the one who is making weapons as his profession, that person should not be called for Pitru Karmas. Yascha Agre Didishu Patihi. This has got lot of different meanings, this word Agre Didishu Patihim. One meaning is it is exactly like the Pariveta and Parivitti. The Pariveta, I said, is the younger brother who gets married before the elder brother, and the Parivitti is the elder brother who's been superseded. Same way, the Didishu Pati means one who marries a girl who is younger. So means there is the elder girl, the younger girl. When the elder girl is there itself, the younger girl gets married. This person marries the younger girl. That person should be avoided for these karmas. And there is other meanings too, which are some meanings will not look very nice to say in the public forum. There is another meaning with Didishu Pati is also given, but I will stop with this particular meaning here. Mitra Drug means one who does droga, one who is like goes against his friend, or one who does traitor. We call it a traitor. Even one who is a traitor to his own close friend, that person should be avoided. Dyuta Vrittischa means one who does gambling. So one who runs the gambling house is called the Kitava, and one who does the gambling is called the Dyuta Vritti. So one who is gambling should be avoided. And Putra Acharya Sataivacha, one who has a son as his own guru. In that case, even Shiva had Subramanya as his guru, but that's an example. But it is said that if somebody has their son itself as their guru for no other reason, I mean, even if there are other gurus are available, his son might be well educated, no problem. But if there are other gurus available and he has to go and learn, he has to go to another place and learn. He cannot use his own son as the learning vehicle. So that is something there. Then these are the diseases: Brahmari, Gandhamali, Svitrayato, Pishunastata, Unmatto, Andascha Varjayaha, Shur, Veda Nindaka Evacha. So Brahmari and Gandhamali, these are two diseases. One is epilepsy, the other one is having a lot of swelling in the neck. Gandhamali is what we call Ludwig's angina in medicine. One who has a lot of swelling under the neck. And Svitrayato means leukoderma, one who has got this white skin, vitiligo or leukoderma. Pishunastata is again not a disease. That is the only thing which is not is a disease in this line. One who is always backbiting the people. He says something to friend, but on the back of them he says something. So he's like double talker person. So he's always talks about bad about people behind their back. So that is Pishunastata. Unmatto means one who is mad. Obviously somebody who is crazy is called a Unmatta. Andascha means one who is blind of both eyes. Kanaha is one who is blind of one eye. Andaka is one who is blind of two eyes. Varjaya, those all should be, Varjaya means you should exclude them. Also, Veda Nindakaha, one who derides the Vedas or one who doesn't respect the Vedas, obviously is not a good Brahmin, he should not be considered. So, one who has epilepsy, one who has swelling in the neck, one who has got leukoderma, one who is always a person who talks behind their back bad things, the crazy person, the blind person, all these should be avoided for the Pitru Karmas. Then comes the list of Hasti, Go, Ashwa, Oštradamako, Nakshatrair Yascha Jivati, Pakshinam Poshako Yascha, Yuddha Achari Sataivacha. Hasti, Go, Ashwa, Oštradamako, Nakshatrair Yascha Jivati, Pakshinam Poshako Yascha, Yuddha Acharya Sataivacha. Yuddha Acharya means Drona, one who teaches warfare. There is in the Drona Parva in the Mahabharata, you know, the after the Bhishma Parva, the 6th Parva, the 7th Parva is the Drona Parva. Bhima will scold Drona like everything. He will use every bad word against his teacher, and he will tell, and when our Acharya says, they will agree with what Bhima says. He's not only Drona taught warfare, but he also participates in warfare for whatever reason. So Yuddha Acharya should be avoided. But no, nothing to undermine Dronacharya. He was a great guru. But that again, teaching warfare is one, and also practicing in warfare is another one. But in general, one who are teaching warfare should alone be avoided. But in the olden days, the Brahmanas used to teach, even Parashurama used to teach Yuddha Acharya, but it has to be part of a whole learning. Okay, because you are learning, the Brahmanas in the olden days were supposed to learn everything. They are supposed to learn Vedas, they are supposed to learn economy, they are supposed to learn warfare, they are supposed to learn even the Sudra karmas. So the Brahmanas are supposed to be well versed in all the karmas of the Brahmanas, the Kshatriyas, the Vaishyas, and the Shudras. And the Brahmanas can teach everything. They are supposed to teach even warfare. They are supposed to teach economy. They are supposed to teach agriculture, how to do agriculture. They are supposed to teach how to stitch the shoe, cobbler work. The Brahmana should know everything, but he can teach everything, but he can do only 6 things. The Shat Karmas we talk about: Adhyayanam, Adhyabagam, Yajanam, Yagyam, Danam, Pratigruham. Only the Shat Karmas are allowed for Brahmanas, which means he can teach Vedas, he can learn Vedas. He can do yajnas for other people, he can do yajnas for himself. He can give danas for other people, he can get danas from other people. So these are the only Shat Karmas the Brahmanas can do: Yajnam, Yajanam, Adhyayanam, Adhyabagam, and Danam, Pratigruham. But he can teach everything. He can teach warfare, he can teach economy, he can teach agriculture, he can teach even the cobbler work, he can teach how to clean bathroom, he can teach everything. So the teacher can be everything, but only if he does exclusive teaching of warfare. That's what is meant here by Yuddha Acharya. That is the one who should be avoided. Hasti, Go, Ashwa, Oštradamako means Hasti is elephant, Go is cow, Ashwa is horse, Oshtra is camel. One who is taking care of all these. Again, you can have a cow in your house, maintain that cow, but if you're doing it as a profession, taking care of these animals, you should be avoided. Nakshatra Yascha Jivati. Again, Nakshatra Yascha Jivati means Jyotisha. Again, the Brahmanas can do Jyotisha, but if they're doing Jyotisha as a full-time profession, that is what is meant here, because Brahmanas are the ones who are supposed to advise people on Jyotisha Shastra and tell what is good time, what is bad time. So what is meant here is one who does exclusively astrology as a profession. Those are the people who should be not included. So Pakshinam Poshako Yascha means again one who is again taking care of the birds. Previously the animals were listed. Again, one who makes a living by taking care of birds, like a chicken farmer, example, he cannot be called for the Shraddha Karmas. Next comes Shrotasham Bedako Yascha Tesham Cha Avarane Rataha Grihasam Veshako Duto Vriksha Aropaka Evacha. So Shrotasham Bedako Yascha Tesham Cha Avarane Rataha Grihasam Veshako Duto Vriksha Aropaka Evacha. So the Duto and Dyuto, when you put Dyuto, it becomes the gambler. Duto is messenger. So one who is a Ramaduta is Hanuman, Dutas are messengers. So one who is acting as a messenger should be avoided. Grihasam Beshuko means one who is a building planner. So the building planners should be avoided, or it can be taken as architectural engineers, civil engineers, whatever it is. Basically, the one who is doing again that as a full-time profession, because again Brahmanas can advise on Vastu, but Brahmanas who are doing building contracting as the full-time job, that is what is meant here. And then Duto is the messenger. Vriksha Aropaka Evacha means one who is growing trees for money, basically a gardener. So you're doing gardening as a profession by itself. So it is not against not doing gardening, but doing gardening as a full-time profession. That's what we have to understand here. Those are the people should again be avoided for the Shraddha Karma. And Shrotasham, the first line, Shrotasham Bedako Yescha Tesham Cha Avarane Rataha means it is considered a big sin in olden days when you divert water or when you block the water course. So when the water has a natural course, it runs in rivers, everything. Yes, you can take water from the river to a little bit to take to your farms and other, but one who is constantly diverting the water flows so that he makes sure somebody doesn't get it, other person gets it, or one who is blocking the water flow. So even that is considered a big sin. So one who is constantly diverting the water flows from the right places or constantly obstructing the water flow, those are all again, those people are doing those should not be called for Pitru Karmas. Shvakridi Shenajivi cha Kanyadushaka eva cha Himsro Vrishala Vrittischa Gananam Chaiva Yajakaha. So the Swakridi will exclude most of the people these days, people who play with dogs. It is said that in Vedanta Desika says even the cow is auspicious. The cow is the most auspicious animal for at least the Hindus. Even the most auspicious cow, you have to keep it only in the Goshala. You don't keep it in the hall. There is a very specific statement Vedanta Desika makes. Even the auspicious cow should not be kept in the center of the house. You keep the cow only in the where is the cow shed. So even for the cow, the rule is you have to keep the cow in the cow shed. The dog is not allowed in the house itself, period. So every house has a dog now, and one who plays with the dog, Swakridi. So one kridi means play. The one who plays with the dog should be avoided. Shena Jivi means Shena is again the vulture, the kite, the larger kind of the more dangerous bird. One who does living using that bird, Shena Jivi. Kanya Dushaka means that's very easy word to understand. One who is doing some problems to Kanyas, like the virgin girls, one who causes problems to the virgin girls, this person should be avoided. Himsro means one who does himsa, one who does kind of trouble to everybody, giving problems, himsa, that person should be. Vrishala Vritti again is one who is married to somebody who is of a younger caste. I'm not what I mean, younger, the lower caste. And Gananam Chaiva Yajakaha means again the group is performing the yajnas for a group of people. So Brahmanas can perform yajnas. You go to one house, perform yajna for them and things. But then there is a group of people of different caste. They are all together joining, and you are going and performing yajnas for those people. That is called. And there is one way of interpreting. The other way Medaditi interprets is as Gana Yaja. There is a yagam called Gana Yagam itself, which I don't know what it is. But one who does the Gana Yagam also should not be taken. So there is two meaning for this word. Gananam Chaiva Yajaka means one who does yajna for a group of people. A group of people means mixture of people. There is people of different castes, creeds, everything are there. For that particular group as a whole, you are going and doing yajnas, not for a particular person or an individual. Or you are doing this Gana Yaga. Both interpretations are there for this last line. Those also should be avoided for the Pitru Karmas. Acharahina Klibascha Nityam Yachanakastata Krishi Jivi Slipadicha Sadbir Nindita Evacha. Acharahinaha means one who doesn't follow any achara. So Acharahinaha, we talked about achara is the conduct, all the purity, saucham, all those come under achara. So one who is not following the code of conduct well. Anushtana is doing all the rituals. Achara is the good code of conduct. and purity. So maintaining purity and good code of conduct is achara. One who is not doing this is called acharahinaha. Klibascha means one who is neither a male or a female. So that is the person, he's not, we call transgender or what it is. So that's kind of people should be avoided. Nityam yachanakastata. Again, Brahmins are allowed to do bhiksha vandana. They can go and get bhiksha and eat. But one who does it as a full-time living, full-time begging basically should be avoided also. And then Krishi Jivi means one who does agriculture. So basically, Brahmins are allowed to do agriculture only in times of apad dharma, emergencies. So otherwise, only the Vaishyas are allowed to do it. So one who does agriculture as full time, he should be avoided. Sleepadi is elephant, one who has got very swollen legs. So that is again a disease here. One who has got very swollen legs should be avoided. And Shadbir Nindita Evacha. This is same thing like Avishastashta means. Sadbir Nindita means when very good people are accusing somebody, whether the other person is right or wrong, we don't know, but really good people are accusing that person. One who is accused by good people also should be avoided. So these are all again the criteria. Aurabriko mahishikaham para purva patistata pretanirya pakaschaiva varjaniyaha prayatnatah. So aurabriko means one who is taking care of goats. Mahishika means one who takes care of buffaloes. Mahishi, Mahishashuramardini, Mahishi is all the one with the elephant head, the buffalo-headed demon. So Mahishi, the buffalo, one who takes care of buffaloes, one who takes care of goats. Parapuro Patistata means again one who is married to a lady who is previously married. So the person who is married to a girl who has already been married, that person should be avoided for Shraddha karmas. Pretanirya pakaschaiva varjaniyaha prayatnataha means one who carries dead bodies. So one who carries dead bodies also. So even, people are allowed to carry dead bodies, a close relative. But if he carried a dead body yesterday or so, there is a criteria. You should avoid him for so many days for Shraddha karmas. But one who is constantly doing carrying the dead bodies, he should be avoided. One who is just doing it for his close relative, that person can be called, but there is a time period depending upon when they carry the preta karma. You can avoid them for a few days and then call them for the Shraddha karmas. Parjaniya prayatnatha means take effort in excluding them. In the previous slokas, he said people pick up the Trisuparna, Trinachiketa. He was giving all the people to include one who knows Trinachiketa, one who knows Trisuparna, one who knows the Trimadus, one who knows the Trishisha. Trishisha means the Purusha Suktam, Narayana Suktam. One who knows all that is called the Trishisha, or one who knows the Atharva Shisha Vedas. So those are all the including criteria. Now he is giving all the excluding criteria here. With Varjaniya means exclude all these. Prayatna, take effort, examine all these points and then exclude them. And now he is giving the summary also. Etan vigarhita achara na pankteyan dvijadaman Dvijati pravaro vidwan ubayatra vivarjayet. So he says, Etan vigarhita achara na pankteyan dvija adaman dvijati pravaro vidyan ubayatra vivarjayet. So he says, the last line says, Dvijati pravaro vidwan ubayatra vivarjayet means ubayam means the two. Deva karmas and Pitru karmas. For both, the Dvijati pravaro means the vidwan, the learned Brahmana, a learned Brahmana should avoid the entire group of people above for both possible Pitru karma and Deva karma, but specifically for Pitru karmas, he should be very careful. Etan, because all of these are considered, the way he's giving the reason. Etan vigarhita achara. So one who are doing all these, taking care of goats as a full-time business or playing, gambling or whatever it is, all these are called achara vigarhita. They have given up achara. Na pankteyan. So that is why they are not eligible to sit in the pankti. Pankti la ukarradun sollapar na panktena. They are pankti is sitting in the food line in the when you do the Brahmana bhojanas. So these people are not eligible to sit in the pankti because they are dvija adaman. They are all Brahmanas of lower quality. Adama means lower. So all these people who have given up the achara are not eligible to sit in the pankti because they are Brahmanas of lower quality. So the Brahmana who is learned should know to identify these brahmanas who are of lower quality or people and avoid them during Shraddha karmas. That's what he's telling. Brahmano tu anadiyan Trishna Agniriva Samyati Tasmai Havyam na Datavyam Nahi Basmani Huyate. So Brahmano tu Anadiyan Truna Agniriva Samyati. Truna is grass. Agni means, so if you take a small blade of grass and you show it in fire, within 1 second it is gone. The fire will not, unless if you take a camphor and put in the fire, the camphor will at least burn for a few seconds or even a minute. But if you take a small grass and show it in fire, within a second that fire will light up, it will go away right away. So same way, if you, it is like giving, if you give, it is giving two examples here. One example is the Truna Agniriva Shamyati, means like if you show dry grass to Agni, how quickly that burns off. Or if you are giving all the homas in the ash, Basman, you don't give your homa in the ash, you give it in the burning fire. So if you give the homa in the ash, it is of no benefit. Same way the blade of grass, if you use for Agni, it is of no benefit. Same way the one who is not learned, to Anadiyan means the Brahmana who is not learned, giving to him Havyam not data, don't give it to him, because if you give it to him, he's giving the two examples. It is like the blade of grass which immediately burns off, no effect, or giving the offerings in the ashes, which also has no effect. Same way, if you use this particular Brahmana for all your events, it is like the blade of grass or no use to you. So he's saying that example to Anadiyan means one who is not learned. So you have to be learned and also following the achara. Only those brahmanas are very eligible for the pitru karmas. Apangtadane yo datur bhavat yurdavam follow dayaham daive havishi pitreva tam pravakshami asheshataham. Apangtadane yo datur bhavat yurdvam follow dayaham daive havishi pitreva tam pravakshami asheshataha. He is telling, he has given the list now. I have given you the list, apangta dane, who and all are not eligible to sit in the pankti, and you are not, datur means you are not supposed to give it to them. But if you give it to them, datur bhavat yurdam, follow the, I'll tell you, if you select these wrong brahmanas or the people wrongly and you give them all the offerings for daiva karmas and pitru karmas, what are the bad effects? Pravakshami asheshata means I'm going to tell you all the bad effects. So Manu was first listed the people who are not eligible, and now he is telling, if you choose these ineligible people and you start doing your daiva pitru karmas, you will have certain problems. I will list it to them. Ashesh, that means I will tell you all that stuff. Avratayr yad dvijair bhuktam parivetriyadibhistata apanter yadan yaischa tadvai rakshamsi bunjate. Avratayr yad dvijair bhuktam pariveti adibhistata apangter yadan yaischa tadvai rakshamsi bunjate. So he's saying rakshamsi means Rakshasas eat. So basically, when you are giving to the karma, when you are eating, when you are feeding the brahmanas, our belief is if you feed the right brahmanas, through the brahmanas, the food goes to your own pitru, pitamaha, prapitamaha, pitamahi, pitru, pitamahi, prapitamahi. It goes like that. So basically, you are feeding the brahmanas, and through the brahmanas, you are feeding your pitrus. That is how the belief is. But when you choose all these, avratayr means vratam illadavargal. Avratam means one who is not following all the vratas. For that dvija, for that brahmana, if you offer the food, same way pariveti is again insisting. Or if you call a pariveti means the younger brother who supersedes the elder brother, and you offer things to him. For all those people, if you offer during the karmas, the food doesn't go to the devas or the pitrus, it goes to the rakshasas. Rakshamsi bunjate. Dara agnihotra samyogam Kuruteyo agradeshtite Parivetasa Vigneya Parivitishtu Purvajaha is actually giving the definition of Pariveta and Parivetti here. Dara Agnihotra Samyogam Kuruteyo Agradeshtite. When the elder is still there, the person who unites with his wife and unites with Agnihotra, that person is called Pariveta. Pariveta is a Vigneya. Know it to be called Pariveta. And Parivitishtu Purvajaha, the one who has been superseded, the elder brother is called Parivitti. So the Pariveta is the younger brother, Parivitti is the elder brother. So the younger brother who is superseded his elder brother in both marriage and Agnihotra, they are called Pariveta and Parivitti. Parivitti, Pariveta, Eyacha Parividyate, Sarveti Narakam Yanti, Datru Yajaka Panchamaha. So he's giving 5 people. Parivitti, Pariveta, Yayasa Parividyate, Sarvetam Narakam Yanti, Datru Yajaka Panchamaha means 5 people will go to Naraka, it seems. Parivitti means the younger brother was purposefully or intentionally superseded his elder brother. Like I said, I gave you the criteria. The elder brother takes sannyasa or naishtika brahmacharya, or even if he didn't take it, but explicitly he said he is not interested in marriage, unless those criteria are there, the younger brother who is purposefully or intentionally superseded his elder brother, that person, and the unfortunate elder brother who has been superseded, and the girl, the Parividyate, the girl through which the superseding has happened, Datru, the one who has given this girl, and Yajaka, the one who was officiated in this marriage. So the boy, the younger boy, the elder boy, the girl through which the marriage happens, the one who offers the girl, and one who conducts the marriage ceremony, this Panchama, all these 5 people will go to Narakam. So basically he's telling that is why I am insisting those people should not be called for Shraddha Karmas. Bhratur Mrityasya Bharyayam yo anurajyate kamataha Dharmenapi niyuktayam sanyeyo didishu patihi. Bhratur Mrityasya Bharyayam yo anurajyate kamataha Dharmenapi niyuktayam sanyeyo didishu patihi. This is a little controversial topic. I am going to skip this part because it is not applicable in this day and age. In olden days, when the brother dies, the younger brother is allowed to marry the widow just for the sake of giving a baby alone, just for continuing the lineage. Like we have seen that in Mahabharata. When both Vichitravirya and Chitrangada die, Amba, Ambalika, Amba, Ambalika and Ambika, the 3 girls, Kashiraja's daughters. Amba is the one who never gets married and who takes revenge on Bhishma, you know that. Ambika and Ambalika are the 2 other ladies who get married to Vichitravirya. Chitrangada dies and Vichitravirya is the one who marries them. But Vichitravirya also dies. So that's when Satyavati calls Vyasa to have, the married intercourse with them, and then just for the sake of the baby. And we know that only through Vyasa only Dhritarashtra was born, Pandu was born, and also Vidura was born. So all Dhritarashtra, Pandu were all Didishu. This is the criteria. So the criteria, because according to Satyavati, because Vyasa was also born only to Satyavati through Parasara Maharishi. So that is why according to Satyavati, Vyasa is a brother for Vichitravirya and all. So that is why she calls Vyasa and tells them just for the sake of the continuing the lineage. It was acceptable in those days. If the elder brother or the brother dies, the other person can just have just for the sake of the baby. But one who is just living with her together, that is not acceptable. So that is what you call the Didishupati. That's why I said there are a lot of meaning for the Didishupati. I gave one meaning is the younger girl superseding the elder girl is also called Didishupati. But here the one who is specifically, though it is allowed in the dharmas for them to give a baby to them, but who continuously live with them together, that is not acceptable. Those people should be also considered not to be there. I'll tell the last one sloka and we'll finish for this way. Paradareshu jayete dau sutau kunda golakau patyu jivati kundaha shan murte bhartari golakaha. So we already talked about what Kunda and Golaka, and Manu is here elaborating them. Paradareshu jayete dau sutau kunda golaka. There are 2 people who are called Kunda and Golaka. Patyau jivati kundaha. So when the husband is alive itself, the girl has a kid through another person. That the boy, the son, the person who is born is called Kunda. And if the husband is died, the widow remarries or has a son through another person, that is called Golaka. So the Kunda and Golaka are either married when the husband is alive or the dead. That's the only difference. But basically, the lady has a kid not through her husband but to somebody else. So that is called Kunda and Golaka, and those are also the people to be avoided. So because he listed Kunda, Golaka, Didishupati, Pariveta, Parivitti all in the front, he is giving definitions of who is this Pariveta, who is the Parivitti here. Though I told them on before, he is specifically defining all those peoples. So I will stop with this here, but I will just read this sloka from Smriti Muktapalam, our Vaidyanatha Dikshita Smriti Muktapalam, where he collates every information together. This particular shloka he takes from Yagyavakya Smriti. Manusmriti, Yagyavakya Smriti, Parasara Smriti, all are important Dharma Shastras. Our Vaidyanatha Dikshita takes a sloka from Yagyavakya Smriti, which actually puts all these in one place. I will quickly read that sloka. Rogi Hinata Rogi Hina Atiriktanga Kanaha Paunar Bhavatas Avakirni Kunda Golo Kunaki Shavadantakaha Brudak Adhyapaka Klibagha Kanya Dushaga Abhishastakaha Mitraduk Pishunas Soma Vikreyi Parivindikaha Mata Pitru Parityagi Kundashi Vrishalatmajaham Purvapatis Karma Dushtasha Ninditaha. So he puts all these people who have got handicap, who are one-eyed, who is born after second marriage, one who has broken the brahmacharya vrata, one who is a kunda or a golaka, one who has got bad nails, one who's got the bad black teeth, one who sells the Vedas, one who is kanya dushaka, one who causes problem to the virgin girls, mitra druk, one who is droga, who does traitor to his friend itself. Pishuna means one who talks backbiting people. Then Soma Vikreyi means one who sells the Soma Yagas. Mata Pitru Parityagi, one who has given up his father and mother for no reason. Kunda Ashi means one who eats from a kunda. Vrishala Atmaja means one who is born to a Vrishali. Basically, the Brahmana is married to a lower caste girl, and the son who is born through that, both the son and the father should be avoided. Parapurva Patihi, one who is married, who has done a marriage to a girl who is already married. Stenaha means one who steals. Karma Dushtacha means one who does all bad karmas. All these people should be avoided. So this is one sloka in Yagyavakya Smriti where he tries to put all these in one sloka there. So there is all these commonality in all our Smritis. Who are the people who should be avoided in the Shraddha karmas? So basically, we have to know these. In this day and age, it may not be possible to follow all those rules, but at least being aware of this, we can avoid at least the worst of those people. So when we do the Shraddha karmas, we get the appropriate benefits of doing that. So that is the whole idea is, because Manu has started listing, which I stopped there. He first gave an example. When you feed this particular, it goes to the Rakshasas. He's going to give a big list. When you feed, because he now told you who and all to avoid, he's going to give the list. If you feed those people, it doesn't go to Pitrus and Devas, it goes to somebody else. So you are defeating your purpose. The whole idea of doing Shraddha karmas is, whatever offering you're doing in the homas or the pindadana or through the brahmanas, through all these three media, through the media of fire, through the media of pindadana, and through the media of the brahmanas, you are actually feeding your pitrus. So the whole idea is, if it doesn't go to the pitrus, then you are defeating the purpose of doing the karma. So that is why he is telling all these people are to be avoided. So you have the high quality brahmanas who are following the acharas. So to be very simple, Brahmanas who are following, who is Adhyayana, who have learned the Vedas and who are following all the acharas, it is easy to remember they are the preferable ones. So if you remember that criteria, then you can think about other things as corollary to that. But Brahmanas who are well learned and also following all the acharas, they are the preferred ones to be called for the Shraddha karmas. So with that, I will stop today. Mangalam Koshalendraya Mahaniya Gunaptayen Chakravarti Tanujaya Sarvabhaumaya Mangalam Shriyakanthaya Kalyananade Ertinam Shri Venkata Nivasaya Srinivasaya Mangalam.
Mangalam Guru Shri चंद्रमौलीश्वर के शक्ति गणपति शारदांबिगे शंकराचार्यर के शक्ति गणपति महागणपति शारदांबिगे के काल भैरवर के काली दुर्गै के वीर धीर शूर हनुम मारुति चरणतिर्के मल्लिकार्जुनर के செல்வ ஜனார்தனர் கே அம்பா பவானி கம்பத கணபதி சண்டி சாமுண்டி கே ஸ்ரீ கிருஷ்ண பகவான் கே ஸ்ரீ சக்கரவாசினி கே சீதாராம லக்ஷ்மண சகித மாருதி சரணத்திற்கே வித்யாரண்யர் கே विद्याशंकर के वागीश्वरी के वज्रदेग गरुड़ आंजनेयर के श्रीवल्ली देव सेना समेत सुब्रमण्यर के तुंगभद्रै के श्रृंग निवासिनी के श्रृंगेरी पुरिயில் நிலைத்திருக்கும் எங்கள் சாரதாம்பிகை के सच्चिदानंद शिव अभिनव नृसिंह भारती के श्री चंद्रशेखर भारती गुरु सार्वभौमर के श्री चंद्रशेखर भारती गुरु विद्यातीर्थर के श्री चंद्रशेखर भारती गुरु भारती तीर्थर के श्री चंद्रशेखर भारती गुरु विदुशेखर भारती के मंगलम गुरु श्री चंद्रमौलीश्वर के शक्ति गणपति शारदांबिग शंकराचार्यर के शक्ति गणपति महागणपति शारदांबिगை के श्रृंगेरी पुरिயில் நிறைந்திருக்கும் எங்கள் சாரதாம்பிகைக்கே.
Thank you so much. Let me stop the live stream and then we can continue.